So I spread the word that my tomato plants weren't producing as much as I had hoped this year. I honestly just didn't plant enough paste tomatoes right off the bat. I had some that I planted that I thought were paste tomatoes and weren't, and then other plants that I didn't get in the ground that were probably the paste tomatoes. So overall, didn't get as much, lost some to a fungus or some type of rot, and just didn't have enough to put up for canning, which is what I wanted to do. Anyway, our neighbor called, our farmer neighbor, who I talk about a lot because he's such a blessing to our family. And he said, I have tomatoes, come and pick them. So that's what we are doing right now. What a blessing. So we have all these rows. I've got kids helping me here. So far, we have picked these. Now, a lot of the tomatoes here were bad. Some of these had fallen and they were green, but he said that's okay. Even that much, and the tomato will ripen. These are just for sauce. Honestly, when you're cooking and canning sauce, you are losing a lot of the nutrients. It's just how it goes. And so we're not worried about waiting until the tomato is at its optimal ripeness like you would if you were eating fresh. So all of these will ripen up. We'll separate them when we get home into the ones that need to be on the counter longer to ripen and the ones that are ready to be cut and cooked into sauce right now. We have some peppers too. This is what we have so far of peppers, and the kids are still picking. Little bit. He said even if there's a little color on the edge, you can pick them. Okay? Please be good. If you see a rotten one, cut it and throw it far away. We are back home, and we have helpers here. The rest of the kids are still fishing, but we have a Benjamin helper. Hold on, my lens is dirty. And we have an Everett helper.
And then he eats it down in one go.
And we have a Bella helpers watching. And we have a Papa helper. You don't get to help us with preservation much because we do it when you're gone. And we have a Lydia helper.
I'm helping eating now.
She's helping with eating. Okay, so the plan today, we had brought home some peppers that were not perfect.
Perfectly free.
Yeah, peppers that had little spots on them. And so because the spots will, that one is too far gone. Because the spots will quickly spread and consume the whole pepper, these are a priority. So we're cutting off what's good, chopping it to put in the freezer. We'll just freeze it raw, and that will be great eaten all winter. Also, the tomatoes that are really ripe, Bella is taking the cores out, and then we will be showing you how we make a really fast and easy tomato sauce. The thing that makes this sauce recipe so easy, so doable, is that you just stuff all of your tomatoes. You can put your onions, your garlic, your peppers, everything right into your blender. Blend them all up and then keep dumping them into a larger pot. Throw it in here because you are going to cook the sauce after everything is pureed. It is 8:43. We are getting ready to put little kids to bed. We worked really hard as a family and we annihilated all of those tomatoes and peppers, minus the ones that still needed ripening. But we've been working for a couple hours now. Got everything cut and all of it blended up for sauce. So still a tiny bit more in there that I need to do, but blended all of these up. We have 2 giant stock pots plus a gallon, another gallon. So that's close to 8 gallons of pureed tomatoes. So we're going to put this on hold and continue it in the morning. Right now we're going to clean up this mess. Good morning. So I just put the sauce on to start cooking on low. So I have some in here and some here in my roaster. We came up with a total of just under 8 gallons, which is perfect because the recipe that I'm using, that I've used for a couple of years now, it's in 2.5 gallon increments. So, you know, that's perfect. I did the recipe times 3. I'm going to let this simmer very low while we do our schoolwork, and then this afternoon when we are done with school in a few hours, I'm going to put it into jars. This is the recipe that I use. So this is what you blend together to make your 2.5, well, it comes to about 3 gallons. So that's this here. And then once you puree this all together and dump it in your pot, you add in this. And then I'm just going to let this all simmer for a few hours while we get started on our schoolwork here.
You have to say these letters. Yeah, but I'm doing some reading.
Okay.
Okay.
We're on this page right here.
Hello. Mom. What do I do?
What are you drawing, Everett? Did James help you make some letters? So serious.
Mom, I remember when I really wanted to get to this page. Now I'm past it. Sit that down. Ready? It's drawn in, right? Come on to my pencil. A, B, Mom, guess what's funny? They're very small.
Now we're going to follow the cupcake path. Point to the first cupcake.
Mom, look.
First cupcake.
Ready? Let's do it now. Mama. A, B, D, 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 F, G. Hat,
Okay, it's afternoon and we are going to get to this tomato sauce now. So this is just kind of a basic tomato sauce that you can use for spaghetti sauce. You could, you know, use it for soup, add it to soups. You could use it for a pizza sauce. It's not super thick, but it's thick enough. And the strange thing about it is when it's in the pan cooking, the roasting pan or the pot on the stove, it actually looks really, really watery. But I found that once it is water bath can and sits on your shelf and then you open up to use it, that it's actually thicker. So something about that thickens it up. It's been simmering here, a very low simmer since I had most of the day. It's 3 o'clock now, so it's been here for a long time, but just now getting to it. So what I'm doing right now, this is what it looks like. It actually had cooked down so much that I was able to put the other pot, almost all of it, in here so that it's in one place. So I combine the two in there. And then over here, this is the last little bit in here. And then this is, actually, this is my pressure canner. We're going to be water bath canning, but I just use this for everything because I have it on hand. Then I don't have to keep 2 pots here. So what I've done is I have 7 clean quart jars, and I fill this up with hot water and I turn it on to boil. I'm going to boil these jars to sanitize them. And then I'm going to, in another pot, I'm going to move this out of the way. And then in another pot, I'm going to take out about half the water and just reserve it for my next batch. Because once these jars are filled and put back in this hot water, it would overflow. There would be way too much water in this pot once these jars are filled. So I need it now for boiling, and then I'll reserve it for boiling the next batch of jars. So we're going to get this to a boil. Then we'll take these jars out, take out some water, fill the jars up with the hot sauce, wipe the rims, put the lids on, and put them back in here to a water bath can. This water is starting to boil. I have my pot ready to dump some of that hot water in like I talked about. The other thing I'm going to do is take my lids and I'm going to put these in the hot water for a couple of minutes so that I get a better seal. It'll help to soften this. Now this will, these jars are quart jars and they only have to be water bath canned for 10 minutes. the goal here that I've found the best success with making sure my jars don't break is to always try to keep everything the same temperature. Oh, that's funny, a ring went in there. So since these jars are hot, I'm going to take them right over to where my hot sauce is in that roaster, and I'm going to fill them up right away. This is a little magnet that will pull those lids out. Now we're going to wipe off these lids really well so that we get a good seal. That's where the seal is. So I don't know what to tell you. I guess we have different priorities.
No, it's okay. See?
Okay, we're going to cover these up, and we're going to have them on a light boil for 10 minutes, and then we'll turn off the heat. The timer went off, and so I took off the lid. I'm just letting them sit here for a couple minutes while the water stops boiling and settle down. If you take it out immediately, it's just too much shock for the jars. Well, it's another new day because I never got back to telling you last night that we ended up with 25 quarts of sauce. The last quart, I actually was about this far from the top of filling it up, and so I just added some hot water, and I wrote a note on the top of that one that is a real thin sauce that would be good to add to soup. That way I could just finish out all my jars that I had and be done with it. What I'm going to do this morning is take these lids off, which I might have to set you down to do. I don't think I can do it. I'm going to take all these lids off now and test to make sure everything's sealed. This is something I do right away the next day. Just kind of gently pull up on it, and it's sealed and good to go. I had to buy some new jars because I am already running out of jars, and the jars that I got were ball jars, and I got 2 cases. I'm going to need more actually, but my sweet aunt offered to get me another case, so she has that for me, which would be helpful. But the ones I got, one of the cases came with, and I didn't notice this till I was literally in the middle of the canning, but the lids, it's like something had been dropped on them, and they all had dents across them, and so the lids were dented and not usable. I had to throw them in the trash. Now I did have a box of the lids that I had already purchased for canning, so I used those instead. And I've been using the 4 jars lids. Those are the ones that I bought, and I've been having better luck with those than I had with the ball lids that I had bought previously. It seems like the ball lids, I would often have some that didn't seal, like they were thinner or something. So I switched to the 4 jars lids. I get them on Amazon, or you can get them from the website themselves. And they have really, I've had pretty much 100% seal rate with those. I can't even remember this year if one didn't seal. So anyway, I'm just going to finish checking all of these, and then they will go into my storage on my shelves, and we're actually going to be making some more because my neighbor has more tomatoes for us once they ripen up, and we'll be making another batch that day. So